We did 1 episode. We did 2 episodes. And you thought we were probably done with the Fantastic Four. Well, let me tell you what, Sonny. We got 2 more episodes.
No.
What?
Just 1.
Only 1 more episode?
Only 1 more episode.
What if we do 1 more episode of this one? We get 4 episodes of the Fantastic Four.
No, it's definitely just this one. I promise.
This is it?
This is it.
So, best Fantastic Four team ever is the last Fantastic Four episode we'll do.
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess your geek history lesson is now in session then. I don't know why.
Hello and welcome to Geek History Lesson. I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And I'm Jason Unstable Molecules Inman. Welcome to the Mind University, or as I am renaming it today, the Baxter Building. Because this episode, as I was rudely told in the opening teaser, is the last episode of the Fantastic Four we're going to do. We're not going to go for Quattro.
Nope.
We're just going to do Trace.
Why can't the Baxter Building be our science building on campus?
Sure, why not?
Cool. You were renaming the whole school.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to, we're all inside the Baxter Building, inside the microverse.
Cool.
Yeah. So this episode, we told you a little bit about, I gave you a lot of lessons about the Fantastic Four.
Many lessons.
The building blocks, the foundation of the Marvel Universe, which they were, which you learned that they are.
I did.
They are the cement. So we thought, we've done other episodes. We've done best X-Men team ever, best Avengers ever.
Best Doctor Who ever.
Or what we would do with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So this is more of an episode like that. There is the discussion, and we will talk about the best Fantastic Four team ever, and we gave ourselves some rules. So we will be planning a Fantastic Four team, and also, at the very end of this episode, we're going to be giving you a review of a very
Special.
Yeah, a very timely movie. 2007's Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. No,
Oh, yeah.
We thought it was too good to go to the movie theaters and see the new Fantastic Four, because it's out, we can see it.
Yep.
No. We decided to dig deep. We went to the local pawn shop and bought a Blu-ray copy of Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, just so we could do a review
Because
for you.
Best Buy didn't have it.
Yes, and Target refused. Target was like, we don't sell those anymore. And we were like, curse you, Target. But we kind of understand. So, let's drop into the best Fantastic Four team ever. Now, actually,
Jason.
you just got dropped a whole bunch of Fantastic Four knowledge. Now, when we
I know, I feel a little overwhelmed.
overwhelmed with the Fantastic Fourness.
Because as mentioned, my Fantastic Four knowledge was, shall we say, limited.
Yes. Now, were you excited to put together this team?
I was, because I set some rules. We set rules for
We'll get to those.
the podcast, and I set some rules for myself, and I would read my team. So I'm excited by the choices that I've made.
You gave yourself rules on top of our rules?
I did, yes.
Okay, I'm excited to hear those. Okay.
You won't, when you hear them, you'll be like, oh, that's really obvious because I've heard Ashley talk before. If you're new to this podcast, this will be really exciting.
Okay, so like our other episodes, which again, we did Best Avengers Team, which you can go listen to, Best X-Men Team, which you can go listen to. Now, I'm assuming you picked your favorites. Because that's what you do in these episodes.
That's true a little bit. There's actually more than that.
Okay.
But you'll
All right, well,
you'll get it.
let's give the rules here real quick. And we welcome all of our listeners to choose their Fantastic Four team on our Facebook, which is, Ashley?
Facebook.com/Geek History Lesson.
And also on our Tumblr, which is?
GeekHistoryLesson.com.
Yes, so we are looking for, use our rules, make a Fantastic Four team. We can't wait to hear it. Now,
it's super cool when people tell us their answers.
Yeah, it's neat, and
and sometimes people write dialogue, and that's the best.
Yeah, like it's all about like thinking about these teams, these characters in different ways. And I think that's a great thing. So, here are the rules for the Fantastic Four.
Lay down the rules.
There could only be 4 members. I mean, it's in the name. It's in the name of the team. It's kind of obvious. It's exactly what we're doing. Only 4 members.
Okay.
Now, the 4 members have to fit into one of these roles.
Okay.
1, the leader. Now, the leader is the only member of this 4 that can be one of the classic 4.
Johnny, Sue, Reed, Ben.
Yes, Mr. Fantastic, The Thing, Human Torch, and the Invisible Woman. That's the only one of these 4, the original Fantastic Four, that can be on your team.
Okay.
So we're going outside the box here.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, the co-leader. Now, the co-leader can have been a previous member of the Fantastic Four.
An auxiliary member.
Yes, and as we learned in the previous weeks, there have been plenty of
other
people.
There have been many.
Luke Cage, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Storm, all kinds of... So they can... This member... that helps the co-leader can have been on a previous Fantastic Four, but they don't have to be.
But they could be if we wanted.
If you want Spider-Man on your Fantastic Four, put Spider-Man on your Fantastic Four.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
I didn't.
Number 3, the wild card. Now, this is like Ben Grimm. Now, if you're noticing, we're picking roles exactly. The co-leader,
we're picking archetypes.
The co-leader is Sue. Now, the wild card is like Ben. Somebody who, when he gets angry, he'll just yell, "It's clobbering time," or she, and just destroy everything. So the wild card. And number 4 is a rookie. You need somebody who's...
You need a Johnny.
Yes, you need a Johnny Storm. You need the youngest person on the team who's going to be reckless and not know what they're doing. Hasn't been a superhero for very long. So, Ashley.
Jason.
With those rules stipulated.
With those rules.
What is your best Fantastic Four team ever? Now, you said you had rules for yourself.
Right. So
should we hear this?
Sure. I put this stipulation because, like I said, Jason's a Fantastic Four expert, not me. But when I look at that Fantastic Four, I go, golly gee, there's a lot of white dudes on that team.
So you went all black.
I didn't go that far, but the classic Fantastic Four dynamic is 3 men to 1 woman. So I did 3 women to 1 man.
I almost did that.
I made sure to cast a non-white person in my Fantastic Four.
Oh, see, I have all whiteys.
Racist.
I stayed true to Lee and Kirby.
Racist.
Lee and Kirby. Okay, so who is the leader of your Fantastic Four?
So my leader of my Fantastic Four is Sue Storm.
Yes, the Invisible Woman.
The Invisible Woman. Because, and one of the reasons that I really like Sue Storm is actually through getting to know Jason. I got to know how much Jason loves and respects this character and why he thinks she's so important, and that taught me a lot about her. And Sue is...
I said before on this podcast, she's basically the mom of the Marvel Universe, right?
Yes. Yeah. But that's the way that I came to that conclusion.
Cool.
So I wanted to give you credit for that. You made me love this female character.
Yeah,
you're a man, so you're good.
I have said in a video before that I think she is quite possibly the greatest Marvel character of all time.
Yes. So naturally, she has to lead my team.
Okay.
Also because I'm going for some of the personality and like emotional dynamics that we have from the original team. So I need Sue in the leadership role to be the glue, to hold everybody together. She's
a good glue.
Of the 4 that I've chosen, she's definitely the most experienced.
Yeah.
And she's good to look at, so why not?
No, wait, did you go skimpy costume, Sue?
No.
Okay, good.
If I had my way on the costumes, I would do the James Robinson red and black ones.
Oh, you like the red?
I do. Red's my favorite color.
Oh, interesting.
I know blue and white is like the classic.
Blue and black.
Sure, but I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for red.
Interesting.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would go red.
So she's got red. All right, cool. Who is Sue Storm's co-leader?
Here's my man.
Okay.
Is second
the
in
only
command.
man on the team.
The only man on my team is adult Franklin Richards.
Adult Franklin Richards.
Yeah,
okay.
Because Fantastic Four, like you said, is all about family.
Yeah, it's a family.
And one of the big things about the original lineup is that you have a brother and a sister. So yes, Franklin is her son, but as an adult, he's almost her peer.
Now, can I ask?
Yes.
As you learned in the previous episodes, there are several different versions of Future Franklin. Is it Future Franklin from the Jonathan Hickman run, Future Franklin from the 90s, or is it a Future Franklin that you would make up specifically for your team?
Probably that. But
Franklin.
The one I've read the most is the Hickman Future Franklin.
Mr. Bearded Franklin, who has the pet Galactus.
Yes, so it would probably be derivative of that if people kind of want a reference to go with. So we have the family dynamic with that, and he fills the Reed role of your super smart scientist guy.
Okay.
And they could still have the dynamic that like Sue has with Johnny, where they'd be challenging each other, but eventually he would give in to Sue because she's always right.
So there'd be like a lot of mom-son.
And he'd be like, but I'm probably older than you right now. And she'd be like, I'm still your mom.
I'm still your mama.
So,
all right,
yeah,
cool.
So I picked adult Frank, also because I really struggled with like what man I wanted to put on this team. And I kept coming back.
With what man
I was going to
put
allow to be on my Fantastic Four team. So, and I kept going back to adult Franklin because I thought that was so interesting. So,
interesting.
And because I love the Future Foundation, and Franklin's a big part of that.
I kind of have a feeling. I think I know where this is going. Okay. Maybe. We'll see. Who is your wild card?
So my wild card, it had to be a strong person.
Okay. Doesn't have to be.
Well, what I was thinking about it.
Okay, yeah,
I needed someone who was muscly.
Got it.
And I was going to say Lady Thor, but I said Lady Thor for my Avengers. And I took another character that I put
Sue
on
Storm,
my
remember,
team.
led my Avengers team.
Yes, she did. That's true. But I didn't want to just copy my Avengers team.
Got it.
Because my Avengers team
Is Nightcrawler on this team?
No, we have the one man.
Okay.
Because my Avengers team was like my greatest hits of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
So I wanted a character who had never been in the Fantastic Four, and I wanted a character who I was pretty sure has never worked with the Fantastic Four.
Interesting.
But was strong.
Okay.
And was a lady.
Okay.
And I didn't want Lady Thor. But I was kind of on that.
We've heard about your hatred of Lady Thor.
I know, I love Lady Thor.
But you were just told, you kind of just repeated yourself a couple times.
Right.
You're like, I didn't want Lady Thor in this team.
It's paramount, right? But so I was in that like Asgardian frame of mind.
Okay.
So I picked Lady Sif.
Interesting.
Because Sif is known as Sif the Stubborn, is one of the names that she goes by. Like, she's really hard-headed. And she's also known as Sif the Strong.
Interesting.
And because I think that I'm not a huge fan of what they've done with her in the movies, but I think like the Journey into Mystery book.
What they've done in the movies? I mean, basically nothing.
Yeah. And they've cast her as like an 85-pound woman.
Yep.
But I really like in Journey into Mystery, like that run that was at the beginning of All New Marvel Now. That went like, I don't know, 12 issues or something. Like, I like her as a strong leading lady.
Is that a good run?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into Kid Loki, it's better.
Cool.
If you're not, it's pretty good.
All right.
But she's really great in it. And they get a chance to do stuff with her that they can't do in the movies because the movie's called Thor, because it's Marvel.
Yep.
So I picked her, and because that would also bring in some cosmic-y stuff, and the Fantastic Four is all about space and science and cosmic-y stuff. So that's why I picked Lady Sif for my wild card.
All right, now I'm very intrigued. To complete your 4, who is your rookie?
My rookie is a character who, at the time of this recording, will have less than 10 books published.
I'm guessing it's Miss Marvel.
With her in it. No, Miss Marvel's up to like 16 or 17
I'm guessing
right now.
it's Spider-Gwen.
It's not Spider-Gwen because I don't like crossing universes.
Okay.
But you're on the right trail with
Silk.
Spider-Gwen. I picked Silk.
It's Silk.
And
Okay.
that's why I was...
You really like Silk.
I do like Silk.
Nice.
And that's also why I couldn't pick Lady Thor, because I was like, but that's 2 of the people from my Avengers team. And then it's just like, oh, these are people Ashley likes. So the reason that I picked...
Which is a common theme with your teams.
Right. Which means Jason's team, because I always kick my team's asses. Like, my teams would be like really good conversations, and Jason's team would like demolish them in an instant. But Silk is Cindy Moon, so she fills my I need a not white person. I mean, Sif is technically not like a Caucasian human being, but she's still a white person.
A godlike alien.
Yeah.
But yeah, she looks like a white person.
So, I have someone of Asian descent, which is great. And because Spider-Man is one of, I would say, the favorite FF fill-ins, and I kind of wanted to go in that vein, but I didn't want to go Peter Parker. So I went Silk. And because Cindy is, in her run, she actually kind of like dates Johnny, so she's of age with him, so she would fill that bracket. She would be the younger one.
Yeah, she's the same age as Peter.
And I just like her, and it's my team. So she's my rookie.
What kind of adventures would your team go on? Do you have like did you come up with like a basic storyline or any kind of like what do you think would be the style of their stories?
Another reason that I wanted to focus on having a lot of women around is because women, and this is for better or ill, it can be a trap that people fall into. I hit my mic, I'm so into it. Women do better with emotional beats. And so I would want it to be some kind of story where, and it's been done in Fantastic Four a lot, but I think because of the family dynamic, it works well, where they have to go and save the family. And so they bring these women together, and an adult Franklin.
So Reed, Johnny, and Ben are lost somewhere.
Yeah, probably in the negative zone.
Or something. Yeah.
Or the quantum verse. But I would want it to be they're looking for Sue's family while they're building this surrogate family at the same time. So that's kind of how I would want it to focus.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you think, is there a villain that you would love to see them fight against?
I would actually love to see them, since I have adult Franklin. I would love to have adult Valeria be like kind of evil.
She takes after Uncle Doom.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do. I'm really interested in like Franklin and Valeria and what happens to them and what they're all about. So that's what I would like to do. And then again, you can have like Sue's her mom, so Sue uses that connection to not defeat her, but save the day.
And there was a lot of undertones in the Robinson run where Valeria didn't want to hang around with mom and dad. She stayed in Latveria.
And tried to convince Doom to buy her ice cream.
Basically, yeah.
Interesting. So that's kind of how I would want to go with it. But I didn't spend too much time thinking about it because I had to watch that movie.
That's fine.
So tell me about your best FF team ever that will destroy mine.
Well, here's my thing. The Fantastic Four have to be the Fantastic Four.
What does that mean?
Well, it has to be Ben, Johnny, Sue, and Reed.
So have you renamed your team?
No, but it has to be them. And if it's not them, I struggle with this like the Avengers. Like for me, like you remember I built this in that episode, which you can go listen to on iTunes and Stitcher. I built this whole reason why, because I didn't want Captain America on my team.
Yeah.
But I had to explain because Captain America is so intrinsically part of the Avengers. I had to do the same thing with the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
I had to explain why isn't there 3 of them there? And if there's not 3 of them there, who are the 3 that would replace them?
Okay. Hit me.
I came upon a theme.
Okay. Is it ladies?
No.
Because that's kind of the theme.
I still kept the 3 men, 1 ladies, but not on purpose.
Okay.
All right, so
who is your
leader? My leader is, to me, the only leader of the Fantastic Four ever. I love Sue Storm to death. The Fantastic Four lives and dies with Reed Richards. Reed Richards is my team leader.
Okay.
He is the reason the Fantastic Four were created. He is the reason they went into space. Reed Richards, I've always felt that there's been a couple times where Reed has left the team and stuff like that, and it's never quite felt like the Fantastic Four to me, because the Fantastic Four is so much Reed.
The Fantastic 3...
Or even the
3.5.
Or even when they thought he was dead.
Yeah.
And I sort of get it, but like to me, more so than Johnny, like because when Johnny died, they got rid of the Fantastic Four and they did the Future Foundation.
Yes.
Which to me seemed quite weird because earlier in their continuity, Reed died and was gone for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Johnny was gone for 6 months.
Yeah.
Reed was gone for 2 years. And they didn't dissolve the Fantastic Four.
No.
Whereas to me, I think they would have. Like just
because he's so paramount, so tantamount to what they are.
Yes. The Fantastic Four exists to go on weird adventures because of Reed.
Okay.
If they don't have Reed, they're just 3 people with powers chilling. Like, I honestly think they would go join the Avengers, because all of them have been on the Avengers before.
True.
They would just hop into the Avengers because Reed's the Fantastic Four. So that's why Reed is my team leader. You can't have a Fantastic Four without Reed, and I would give Reed a beard.
Okay. And like a morning beard?
No, he's had beards in the comics before. I'd give him a beard.
Oh, has he?
And early in the night...
Does it have gray stripes in it to match his hair?
Yes, right on the chin.
Of course.
And he also in the 90s wore like a vest over his costume, and I want that vest with pockets back. Yeah.
Okay.
He's
of course pockets, because the 90s, right?
Yeah, he's Adventurer Reed, and he's back.
Okay. Who is your co-leader?
My co-leader...
Since it's not Sue.
...is exactly who your co-leader is.
Oh, shut up.
Franklin Richards, also with a beard. But my Franklin Richards is the Jonathan Hickman Franklin Richards, because I want a Franklin Richards with the ace up his sleeve. Mm-hmm. I want a Franklin Richards whose best friend is his pet Galactus. And my Franklin Richards, who, when he grew up, had a little robot that he loved, that he followed him around, that was a joke of the 1960s Fantastic Four cartoon, but it's been used in the comics. And I'm talking about Herbie. So to me, my Franklin Richards takes Herbie technology.
So you've made the Fantastic Five.
No.
You always cheat and add an extra team member every time.
No.
You're like, I've actually made 7.
No, Galactus is just is the dog.
Oh, no, I'm talking Herbie.
Oh, no, you didn't let me finish my point.
Okay.
He programs Herbie technology into Galactus, so Galactus is half Herbie now.
Stop it. That's amazing.
So, yeah, it's father and son.
Cool.
Okay. That's my first 2 members.
Okay, then who is your wild card?
My wild card is a person with a deep connection to the Fantastic Four, probably birthed at the same moment as the Fantastic Four, as some people would say. My wild card is Doom, but not Dr. Doom. I'm talking about Christophe Bernard.
Son of...
The badass... and I'm gonna update. He basically wears Doom's costume.
Yes,
a
he
lot,
does.
But I'm gonna update Doom's costume, give him Doom's costume, and he's badass. And he is, he is my wild card, because he joins the team because Reed needs him, but you can never trust what he's gonna do.
Yeah, totally.
So
cool.
You see a theme here.
They're all Fantastic Four characters?
Not really.
They're all men?
No, not really. All right, let's.
They're all.
Ask me who my.
Who's your rookie?
Now, my rookie is a character who has never been on the Fantastic Four ever, but has a connection to the team. And I introduced Franklin Richards, all-powerful Franklin Richards. I've also introduced Doom and Christoph, both characters that are well-versed with traveling the multiverse, well-versed with traveling through time. My rookie is Spider-Girl Mayday Parker.
They're all children of their legacy characters.
They're all...
Or as close as Marvel gets to legacy characters.
This is the sons and daughters team of the Fantastic Four.
Led by the father of the Fantastic Four.
Father, or the originator of the Fantastic Four.
The progenitor. Interesting.
Yes. So they're all children to the ultimate teacher, is the way. Like, so.
How old do you have Mayday be?
Her normal age.
Okay.
Her normal age. But like, I don't know, like, I see this as, like, I don't really quite have a storyline for this, but in my opinion, it would be that, like, Reed did something that caused Johnny, Ben, and Sue to be trapped. Mm-hmm. And he basically travels through...
space and time. So he grabs Franklin and is like, help me out. And then somehow, like... Kristoff has some piece of technology that they can use, and so Kristoff's like, well, I got to come with you too. And then through some traveling of the multiverse, Mayday accidentally ends up with him, the Parker Luck. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And it's the four of them with a pet Herbie Galactus trying to free the Fantastic Four from the skin of the universe.
In my brain, they're traveling in a TARDIS.
Sure. They're traveling inside Galactus's eye.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, like you see, you zoom in on his eye, and they're all on the ledge there.
Gross.
So that, it's the sons and daughters team, because like if it's not the original Fantastic Four, I wanted that personal relationship, and I wanted originally my original team was going to be Reed and Franklin, Peter Parker, and Mayday. So it was father, son, father, daughter.
Interesting.
But Peter, we made the rule that the only previous Fantastic Four member was the co-leader.
Yeah.
So, and Franklin Richards has been on the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
And I wanted Franklin. So
more than you wanted Peter.
More than I wanted Peter. But
although diehard Peter Parker fans are shaking their fists at their audio devices.
But I think Christophe Bernard is a character that has so much potential, but has never lived up to it. Like I've never read a Christophe story that I loved. Like I always thought I always like, oh, they could have done this with the character, or they could have done this with the character, and they never quite get there with Christophe. And I think Christophe is such the son of Doom, who's not the real son of Doom.
The heir apparent of the adopted son.
It is such a great storyline, and I think him and Franklin would have like such an interesting relationship. And also like you could have so many moments where Reed's like, look, this is how it is. Like, I don't care what your dad told you, but your dad's a megalomaniacal crazy man. You know? and then Mayday as the rookie, Mayday's very self-doubting.
She is, yeah.
And Reed, of all the things, Reed is an amazing teacher. He is. He taught the rest of his team how to use their powers.
Yeah.
There's one moment from the movie that we're going to talk about that I kind of admire, and I think epitomizes Reed Richards.
Yes.
In the movie, there's that stupid scene in Rise of the Serial Surfer where the Ferris wheel of London is going to fall over.
Yes.
And Johnny accidentally touches Mr. Fantastic, and at the point in this movie, their powers are transferring, and Mr. Fantastic gets his flame powers, gets Johnny's flame powers. Yes. And unlike Sue, he doesn't fall to the ground and go crazy. He's able to stabilize and figure out how to use them.
Yeah, he uses them to not cauterize, but
to weld. To weld, yes. But I think that is Mr. Fantastic. He would know how to use the other powers.
Yeah.
Yes, he's studied them enough that he knows that. And I think that he would be able to ultimately give so much confidence to
Mayday?
To Mayday. And it would basically make Mayday...
That's so nice.
In my run,
yeah.
If I was writing this, she would end the run called Spider-Woman.
Cool.
I would give her the same Invisible Girl, Invisible Woman flip.
Yeah.
You know, is what I would do. But is in terms of villains, I don't really have anything, but like they're just traveling across the multiverse fighting Celestials.
Cool. I'll take that.
This is a powerhouse team. This is Reed Richards' strike team that's actually made up of children.
Well, adult children. But yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there you go.
Those are our teams.
That's my best Fantastic Four team.
That's a good team. Yay.
You're all woman team.
My lady team.
Which team do we think would win? I guess the other one. Now, bear in mind, my team has a Galactus. Your team has a Galactus too. But my team has a Galactus with Herbie technology.
I think that is to your Galactus's disadvantage.
I think that is to my Galactus's advantage.
I don't know. I think Silk...
Herbie.
I think Silk could outmaneuver... here's why I think my team would win.
Okay, sure.
Because I think Silk could outmaneuver Mayday.
Probably, yeah.
And because I think that Reed would never hurt Sue.
Oh.
And the Franklins would just be like, let's fucking play with Galactus.
Who was your wild card?
Sif.
Ooh, that's a close one.
Sif and Kristoff would probably really like each other.
They would.
They'd be like real violent at each other, and they'd be like, do you want to kiss?
The wild card is how powerful we think Kristoff would be.
Yeah.
Because Kristoff could take out a lot of your team.
Depends on how old your Kristoff is, I think, and how confident he is.
Well, I would age my Kristoff up. Mm-hmm. My Kristoff would be probably in his 30s. He would be equal to Franklin's age from the Jonathan Hickman run. So mid-30s-ish.
Well, if our Franklins didn't team up to take him down because they didn't really like him.
I actually think the Franklins would sit out. I think both of them would be like, this is below us, and sit out.
Yeah.
I think Reed and Sue would... I think because my Reed would be like, Sue, and your Sue would be like, Reed! And they'd go bone in the closet.
Gross.
So I do think Silk takes out Mayday. Barely.
Yes.
Barely.
It's a scrap, yeah.
Because again, Mayday, that Parker luck, that would like barely let her lose. And it comes down to whether we think Kristoff could take down Sif and...
It's kind of the Batman Superman thing. If Kristoff can get the drop on Sif, which to be fair he probably can, he can take her out. But if she just whaps him upside the head really quick, he's done.
I'll be honest with you. I'll actually give it to your team. I think Kristoff takes out Sif, no problem. I think it's Silk's spider sense.
Oh, interesting.
That screws over Kristoff because no matter how much planning he can do, she's gonna be able to predict it.
Yeah.
And so your Silk barely gets your team the win.
Yes, Cindy Moon.
But it's interesting, yeah. And as Galactus and Herbie Galactus become best friends.
Yes, and they float off into space holding hands.
Yep.
With the Franklins in their eyeballs.
Come with me, Herbie Galactus. Okay.
Your Herbie Galactus voice is very similar to your Romulus voice.
No. We'll get to that. That's an inside joke. That's inside baseball. Let's talk about. Let's move on to the next section of this podcast. What's the next section of this podcast about, Ashley?
It's about Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer, which is a movie that I had never seen before. And Jason was like, "This is the Fantastic Four movie for you, sweetie."
Did I say sweetie because I was doing a River Song impression?
No, because
or did I say sweetie because I was like, you're gonna hate this?
I think if I remember correctly, at the time you were dressed like Humphrey Bogart, and I think that's what it came from.
Listen here, sweetheart. Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is for you.
And then the waitress walked by, and you smacked her on the rear.
Of all the negative zones and all the places in the multiverse, she had to walk into mine.
It was exactly like that, in fact.
All right, 2007's Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is directed by Tim Story.
Would you call it directed?
Nope. Starring Ian Gruffold, however you say that.
Goofold.
Mr. Fantastic.
Goober Smooches.
Vince from The Shield, Michael Chiklis as The Thing.
Oh man, I wish Boyd Crowder had been in this movie.
Jessica Blank Eyes Alba as the Invisible Woman, and Captain America as the Human Torch.
Yeah, man.
Chris Evans. And the guy from Nip Tuck as Dr. Doom.
And the guy from Pan's Labyrinth, voiced by the guy who was Morpheus as the Silver Surfer.
A.K.A. Perry White.
Oh, yeah, he's Perry White now. Oh, he's a great Perry White.
Now, give a quick synopsis to anybody out there who has not seen Fantastic Four, the masterpiece that is... If you can't tell already, we didn't like this film. And
I wouldn't call it a film.
That's true enough. Give a quick synopsis. I want to hear your synopsis of Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
To be fair, I was on Twitter for a lot of this movie.
I still think you paid plenty enough attention.
So Reed and Sue are like, let's get married, because apparently they fucked that up before.
Yep.
And Johnny's like, let's have product placement. And Ben's like, I'm going to lift children in the airport.
You don't have to get this detailed. But that's literally the first scene.
So there's like an hour of that. And then you see this like silver guy like surfing through space. And then like shit gets frozen on Earth. And then they capture the Silver Surfer with Nick Fury, who's not Nick Fury, in the base where they filmed the X-Men scenes. And then Jessica Alba pretends to act because everyone's telling her she's really special. And then Victor Von Doom's face heals and he shows up. And then they throw him in the water. And then a cloud tries to eat Earth. The end. And they get married in Japan, which is actually the Japanese Gardens in Vancouver.
In Vancouver.
populated by everyone who acted in MASH.
Yep. Is there anything you felt we left out, or is that a good enough synopsis for our listeners? Basically, let's just say this. All right.
And they're swapping powers.
Yep.
That's an important part.
Yeah, there's a lot of swapping powers. Basically, it's sort of the Silver Surfer Galactus storyline told in a really bad way.
Yeah. That's really what I'm trying to stress.
You know what Star Trek Into Darkness did for Wrath of Khan? That's what Rise of the Silver Surfer did to the original The Coming of Galactus story.
Oh, yeah?
Pretty much.
I like Star Trek Into Darkness.
I like Star Trek Into Darkness as well, but Star Trek Into Darkness is Wrath of Khan written by writers who could never write Wrath of Khan, basically.
Sure.
So, anyways, let's drop right into it because
our opinions aren't clear.
So you didn't like this movie.
I didn't like this movie.
Would you would not call this a Fantastic Four story, a good Fantastic Four story?
No.
Okay.
Would you?
No. There's good ideas in it.
There are really good ideas, and there are some good moments. Although that being said, it was really hard for me to pick a scene that I actually enjoyed. So,
let's get into this. Okay,
cool.
So who do you think was the best actor in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer?
That's tough because I think there were some people who played some good parts, but the movie's so bad that I just want to be like, no one. I'm gonna give it.
Even in bad movies, there are good actors.
I've seen 2 Sharknado movies.
Even in bad movies, there are good actors.
I've seen The Room.
Even in bad
many
movies,
times.
There are good actors. Even if it's the extra in the background who just goes and runs, that's a good acting.
Sure. I'm gonna give it to Ian. I don't know his last name, but he was Horatio Hornblower once.
Yep, Gruffalo. I don't know.
I always want to say Garofalo, but it's not.
I want to say
name.
Griffold.
Yeah. Something like that. He was also Lancelot in King Arthur.
I don't know how to say his last name.
He would have been a great Mr. Fantastic now, 10 years later.
He's in that new Immortal show where he's like an immortal vampire detective guy. It's weird.
What?
Yeah, I'm serious. He's like,
I don't even know what that is.
Well, I'm not even going to bother to look up the names, and I know we're going to get Twitter comments where people are like, oh, God, I love this podcast until he just couldn't remember the name of that stupid CBS show. He's a CBS show where he's like a detective, and he's sort of immortal. He's basically immortal. I think it might be called Immortal. I could be wrong. I don't care enough to look it up.
That's cool. The reason that I picked him, I think Michael Chiklis does a great job as the Thing, but I have problems with the suit, and I think that I almost said Chris Pratt, but it's definitely Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Does a great job as Johnny, but he's not doing anything. And the reason that I want to give it to Ian of the questionable last name is because he does a lot of really subtle things in his performance, especially when he's doing science stuff and you watch him be conflicted about lying to Sue, that I think is just so much better than everything else going on in that movie. It's watch. I can just watch your face and you're doing good stuff with your face. You're not just staring at me with blue contacts. So I would say that Ian something is the best actor in this movie.
Nice.
Yeah. Who do you think?
What I want to say that, as you were talking about Michael Chiklis, here's the weird thing that I'm going to say. I actually think he was better in the first one than he was in this one. Yeah, because when we just watched it. And,
I haven't seen the first one.
And you don't. Don't. And in the first one, he actually has stuff to do because he's actually married in the first one, and when he becomes the Thing, his wife leaves him.
Oh, so there's drama?
Yeah, so he has to deal with that, and the whole first movie's about oh crap, I'm gonna be this rock creature forever. Whereas in this movie, he's nothing but comic relief, and he says,
and it's so out of place,
and he just goes, oh crap, 5 times in this movie, and it just gets old. It gets really old. Whereas in the first movie, he says a lot of stuff, And
they're also just looking for excuses to get him out of the suit.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's Michael Chiklis, and that suit took forever. But it was his choice to make that suit.
Yes.
I think the best actor by far, by no contest, is Chris Evans. Chris Evans as the Human Torch, I feel, is the greatest thing about this movie. The only good thing you can say about this movie. He is so Johnny Storm, it's perfect. And that's why when he's first cast as Captain America, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There's no way he can pull off Captain America. His mannerisms, his attitude, his everything is comic book Johnny Storm to a T.
My argument against why I didn't pick him was because I think he is a great actor. He's great in Captain America. He's great in Puncture, whatever. I don't know how much acting he's doing as Johnny Storm.
Hey, it's still acting, baby. You still have to act. To deliver those lines,
sure.
and to get those comedic timing.
Yeah. But he's great. He's really funny.
He's great. He's one of the few I think Michael Chiklis could be good with a CGI thing. I believe Grufald, Ian, whatever his name is, could be great now as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Chris Evans was great then.
Yes, he was.
And he's the only member of the Fantastic Four, I believe, that was great in their part. Like, just nailed it.
Fair enough.
And if you were to remake it, I'd be like, well, make him... There's your Johnny Storm.
Yeah,
we don't need anybody
but
else.
he's Captain America now.
Yeah, I know.
And they give it to Chris Pratt.
And they gave it to Michael B. Jordan and whatever. So whatever. That's who I think is the best actor. Who is the worst actor in this movie? I think we're both going to have the same answer.
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba. Why?
Because if you replaced her with a plank of wood, it would have been more entertaining. You could just stick the blue contacts on.
You think a 2x4 of pine? I could see that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so...
And you could still have it be fucking naked for no reason.
Well, Pine's always naked. Not Chris Pine. A piece of pine.
Although he's been naked in both Star Trek movies.
Yeah, he has. Let's not get off topic. We've already
We've gone on a Star Trek twice
This
now.
is the second Star Trek off topic. All right. Yeah,
there's no word for how horrible she is. And Sue might not be super scientist of the Marvel Universe level smart, but she's smart.
Mm-hmm.
And she's Reed's partner. She's not just like his lady. Like, that's important to me, is that they appear as equal. And she's like an insufferable bitch in so many scenes.
Well, and also her line delivery is just so bad.
She's vacant. There's nothing going on behind those blue contacts.
It's like...
There's nothing.
It's, I'm saying this line because it's in the script.
And then they Mary Sue her because she's such an important focus for the Silver Surfer, and they keep telling you how important she is, but she never earns it.
That's kind of earned from the comics.
Sure, you can earn it in the comics because nobody's not reading not reading the lines like they give a shit. Like she showed up for that because they paid her.
Yep. Well, it's so weird because you can tell that she was...
Also, her hair's the same color as your skin, which freaks me out.
She was, for me, the stunt casting.
Yeah.
Because at the time... When they first made the first movie, which I think was 2004, she was
a big deal.
She was the hot chick. She was the like stunning blonde chick. So whenever you cast the Fantastic Four, when you were like, oh, I wonder who plays Sue Storm, everybody was like Jessica Alba because she's got blonde hair. It's the same thing when like Bryan Cranston was the lead to play Lex Luthor, just because he was bald in Breaking Bad. But the thing about it is that she's never been a good actress.
No, she was in those like teenage dance movies where like I have feelings, like with Channing Tatum or whatever, and like I guess you're fine in that if all you have to do is be like, how could you betray me? But if you're trying to play a character with something like pretending to be depth, it doesn't work.
Nope.
So I took a lot of issue with her.
What was the best scene in Fantastic Four? Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Like when the credits rolled.
No, give a real answer to this. Don't give a non-answer.
It's tough. I would say a scene that I really enjoyed, despite the fact that Jessica Alba was in it, was when she has snuck out of the like classroom that they're being held on the army base, and she's talking to the Silver Surfer, and he's explaining. He remembers who he was and where he came from. And I think that's a really powerful moment. And I think despite the pounds of makeup on Doug Jones' face, it's played very real and very close to the heart, but very alien at the same time. Like that was one of the only times I actually felt something. And I was like, oh, I feel bad for you. So probably that scene where he's explaining to her like what's happening. He's, it's an exposition dump, but it's well done.
Yeah.
So, yes, that one. What's your favorite scene?
I have two.
Okay.
And mine both involve the Human Torch and the Silver Surfer.
Okay.
The first one is the chase through New York, because the first teaser trailer they ever showed for the movie was just the scene of the Silver Surfer coming through the Chrysler building and Johnny chasing him. And then when the Silver Surfer grabbed him and put him in orbit and dropped him, they just went to black and it was like, Rise of the Silver Surfer. And you were like... And from that teaser, you were just like, holy shit, this movie looks awesome.
Did it give you hope even though it was the same cast as the first movie?
It did, because I remember not liking that first movie the first time I saw it. But seeing that trailer being like, because I remember when I first saw it, I was kind of like, well, I mean, they kind of, like, I'm okay with the cast. Like, if they just got him a good story, they could maybe work it out here. And that teaser trailer... maybe be like, holy crap, maybe just putting the Silver Surfer in there is the magic ingredient.
Yeah.
I also like the ending where Silver Surfer is going up to Galactus.
Yeah, yeah.
And Johnny's pushing him because when he gets in there and all those elements are there and there's Kirby crackle, it's the most Kirby looking thing I think we've ever seen on screen, even to date.
Yes.
You know, so I like both those scenes because the Silver Surfer to me steals the movie.
Totally.
Like, he's
one of the only CG things that looks good.
He's one of the best things in the entire movie is the Silver Surfer. And it's like any scene with the Silver Surfer like works and it's great. But like, man, everything else just doesn't work. What's the worst scene in the movie? There are many, but what's the worst?
The one I'm going to pick is when they first discover that they're trading powers. Because Johnny's there and Sue's there and they smack hands and Johnny's invisible and Sue's on fire and she's flying and whatever. And then she turns the flames off and she's inexplicably naked.
Because she burned off her clothes.
Yeah, I get that, but it doesn't happen to Johnny. And because she's a lady and she's Jessica Alba, we had to show her naked. And then we have this gratuitous like close up on all these photographers who are like, oh, I'm not going to like help you or I'm not going to feel bad for you, but I'm going to take a picture of this naked lady on the street. And like, I just hated, like, it was so fakey and it bothered me more than the Dodge product placement did.
Which is, I still think, the worst product placement in a superhero movie
And
ever.
then Johnny's like, Hemi, and Reed's like, of course.
Of course.
The problem with this movie is it's not the cast, and we have problems with the cast, and it's not the script, and there are problems with the script, and it's not the effects, and there are problems with the effects. It's that no one is treating this seriously. It's a joke to everyone. And that's the problem with it. So that even when one actor takes it seriously, or like one camera guy takes it, it's not enough to make up for all the rest of the disrespect of the property and the story being told. And rant. What's your least favorite scene?
My least favorite scene, I think, exemplifies what I actually think is the biggest problem in the movie. What causes this movie, I think, to be horrible. And that is Reed Richards dancing in the nightclub. It's ridiculous. And there is literally a 5-minute scene that's just dancing. There's literally a scene that's about Reed Richards dancing.
With some real bad effects.
Yes, with some bad effects. That focuses on he's dancing with these hot chicks because the hot chicks know who he is. Now, the Fantastic Four, as we learned in the last couple of weeks, Reed Richards sort of did publicize them and do that stuff, but he meant that to do because he felt bad about causing their injuries and causing their, whatever. And he calls them injuries. So they're sort of celebrities. But they're not the Kardashians. They're not Bruce Jenner. They're not Caitlyn Jenner. They're not Hilary Duff and Miley Cyrus. They're not those people. And that is not the focus of what your Fantastic Four movie should be. It should be about science fiction. It should be about exploring new worlds. That's why Fantastic Four always tapped into me, because I've always felt it was Star Trek superheroes. Focusing on the celebrities and being like, oh, this is a comedy is the wrong way to take that material.
Right, and that's what you have Johnny for. So, and you can bring in comic relief that way, and you can bring in frustration with the fact that he's trying to like monetize what they are. But when that's the whole driving force, like, meh.
The comedy that comes from Fantastic Four, and there is a lot of comedy in a Fantastic Four comic book. The comedy comes from the family being dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Not from their situation. It comes from them. Because Reed is like, I discovered this new universe. Let's all go, team. They hop in. They go to the new universe. Reed's just like, I didn't build a machine to get us back. Sue's like, damn it, Reed, again? This is like the 55th dimension you've done this for. And then Johnny's going to be late for a date. And then Ben talks about his sexual inadequacies. They start fighting, and then eventually at the last minute, they all team up together because the horde of bug aliens comes after them. And at the last minute, they all team up together. They give Reed enough time to finish the machine, and they go home. That's the Fantastic Four story.
Cool. Simple as that, Fox.
Yep. We have to work together to make things go. Oh.
But maybe we fought like yesterday, so we'll have to get over it.
Yeah, exactly. Not like
it's human drama, and they didn't treat it like human drama.
No, they treated it like, oh man, we're being featured on Entertainment Tonight, and they're talking about me. Oh, damn it.
And I'm gonna inexplicably have kitten heels in my suit that's supposed to be standard.
Yeah. But it's also the ridiculous thing, like, the opening of this movie is them in an airport and everybody having a big deal about the airport. And then, like, a news report being like, Reed and Sue have tried to be married 5 times. Like, that's the crux of the plot.
But here's the thing that I don't get. You can just like go to the courthouse and sign a sheet of paper and you're married.
But see, you're missing the point. See, this movie, they're celebrities.
Right.
So they have to be married in front of thousands of fucking cameras because that's more important than the saving the world that is happening in this movie. Like, biblical implications are happening in this movie. And what are we concerned about? Oh, let's get them married.
It's bad.
And those are our thoughts on Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. If you were to give this a score from 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, you cannot go negative. It's not that bad.
I will go negative.
What's the score you'd give it?
I'd give it like a 3. I'd give Ant-Man like a 5, if that helps people. Yeah, I'd give it a 3.
I was going to say like a 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like, I bet I would have enjoyed the Roger Corman movie more.
At least their costumes were comic book accurate.
Right. Like, I think that I would have derived more joy from that shittiness than the shittiness of this movie that we actually watched.
Well, the Roger Corman, actually, the origin is very accurate to the comics.
Have you seen it?
I've seen pieces of it. Now, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I will tell everybody out there that if you want us to review this Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie, it's all on YouTube. You want to go watch it.
Yeah.
I've watched pieces of it. It's pretty bad.
I've seen the musical that
really
they
bad.
spoof it with on Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Season
that.
9.
All right, cool. Any final thoughts you want to say on our Avengers team, our Fantastic Four team?
That was so long ago. I don't remember my Avengers team.
Or Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
If somebody draws our Fantastic Four teams beating up the movie Fantastic Four team, I will start a media circus and try to marry them and then fail.
That's not much of a prize.
I'm tying it back into the movie.
Oh, okay, got it.
See?
Got it.
Yeah, they can be a media darling for as long as it lasts.
You know what, Ashley?
Nope.
In high school, it was jocks like you that ruled the world. But now, jocks like you come to me to rule the world because I'm the guy who's got the hot girl and the big building and this rock fella who will never be able to have a normal life again. And this other fella who turns into flames and bones a lot of chicks and probably has STDs. But you need my help right now, buddy.
I was in anime club in high school.
That we just reenacted one of the worst speeches from Fantastic Four.
Because nerds!
Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
There's nothing to say.
Oh, it's just bad.
Poor Doug Jones.
Yep. I would actually love if Lawrence Fishburne was the voice of the Silver Surfer again, though.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
Great. And Doug Jones can be the body.
Cool.
That was good.
Yeah. All right. That's it for this episode of Geek History Lesson for our best Fantastic Four team ever and review of Rise of the Silver Surfer. If you want to listen to more of this podcast or go back and listen to the Fantastapalooza of the last 2 weeks, you can go to iTunes. Please subscribe and download there and give us a rating and review. And you can also do that on Stitcher because it lets other listeners find the show just like you. Also, if you want to draw our Fantastic Four teams, you can do that on our social medias, which is what, Ashley?
We are on Facebook.com/GeekHistoryLesson or GeekHistoryLesson.tumblr.com or GeekHistoryLesson.com. They'll all lead you to goodness.
And if they want to complain about your thoughts of the Fantastic Four movie and tell you you're completely crazy,
They can keep it to themselves.
Where can they do that on Twitter?
They can do that at Jawiin, Jawiin, because I won't answer them.
No, can they do it for you on Twitter?
At Ashley V. Robinson.
And my Twitter is at Jawiin, Jawiin. You can find me on youtube.com/Jawiin with the same spelling. Red Shirt Diaries is right around the corner, so you should go to subscribe to youtube.com/Jawiin and just take care of all of that. Mm-hmm. Just get it all in one go. Yeah. One go. Fantastic go.
Fantastico.
Oh, man. This has got a Hemi? My YouTube channel does not have a Hemi, and it will never have a Hemi. Oh, my God.
And it doesn't have Dodge Ram seat covers?
If you don't know what we're talking about, go Google Dodge Hemi joke from Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. I guarantee you it's on there.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Hemis are shit. But
now you're going to get angry tweets.
No, probably. Dodge trucks are awesome, but it's just ridiculous. Anyways, go find us on Twitter. We hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a little bit different, and our Fantastapalooza is finally over. Next week, we're going to be doing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Some other things, some other characters from other places that aren't Fantastic Four related.
Yes.
Well, they have relations, but they're not Fantastic Four members.
True.
So there you go. Go find us on iTunes, you crazy, filthy animals, and go watch Rise of the Silver Surfer for a fun date night movie.
Sure.
I'm Jason Hinman.
I am Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And Ashley, please close out this catastrophic, calismic podcast.
Class is now dismissed. Go home in your Hemis.
Hello, I am Herbie Galactus. How may I help you? Franklin Richards.
I was looking for Baymax.
Only Herbie Galactus can serve.
Okay, can you sweep the Baxter building for me?
I am the size of 5 planets. How will I sweep a building?
Just get some Pym particles and shrink down a little bit.
I am a god being of the 5th dimension and more. I have pierced the veil of the universe. Why are you domesticating me?
Oh, I can think of his little Herbies in that FF issue when they're like vacuuming the floor.
Oh, this is so insider joke, it hurts. All right. You know what? You know what we should do?
No.
We should go watch Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, the commentary track.
Who does the commentary?
Tim Story, the director who sunk the battleship of Fantastic Four.
If it was just Chris Evans being like, whatever, they paid me.
No. Yeah, it's Chris Evans. It's Chris Evans.
I just signed to be Captain America.
It's Chris Evans after every one of his piece of his dialogue. He just ka-ching, ka-ching. It's nothing else. He says no words.
I would watch that.
He just like Johnny Storm's like, is that a Hemi? And he's like, ka-ching.
Probably got paid twice as much to say that line.
He probably did. Oh, the world is sad. The world is sad because that movie exists. I don't know where they're in this. Is this podcast run by him? Ka-ching!